Right, today I want to talk to you about muffs. Super muffs from Oxford. So I've bought these because one, it's the winter time, and I think that people use these more in the winter than they do in the summer. And secondly, because I'm going to ride to Eicma in Milan in about 4 or 5 days time. And I want my little handy pandies not to get cold. So for me, I'm going to do it over 2 days. It's about 6 hours ride to somewhere in France, and then the final 5 or 6 hours down to Milan. So that's 2 6-hour days, and then probably 2 6-hour days on the way back. I might even, if I'm feeling up to it, try and do it in a day, but I'm not really sure about that. So I have already fitted, although it's not on the bike at the moment, a sort of apron that goes over the top. So I'll tag that video in. And I thought we'd have a little look at seeing if I could fit these handlebar muffs onto the Xadv, and then it's a pretty good chance to test them out. I'm hoping it's not going to rain, but if it does, at least that will also help keep my hands dry, and we'll get a good idea of what these things are like. They're quite cheap, less than 50 quid. I think I'll double check the prices, I'll put that in the description as well. But if you're commuting, or if you're going to be riding a lot for work during the day in the winters, I think these are the way forward. I used to have them when I was commuting 15, 17 years ago, maybe more, 20 years ago, into London all the time. I had a Honda Hornet 900, which I absolutely loved. I had 2 of those, and I had these fitted in the winters all the time, really, in the winter, just to try and keep my hands a bit warmer. Oxford, as we know, is an English brand, and they make some pretty good stuff, mostly good stuff. So let's try and bung them on the bike, and we'll see how easy they are to fit. And then when I've come back from Milan, I'll be able to report and tell you if they're any good. Right, so the first thing I've got to do is these handlebar guards I've got on my bike are actually from my KTM 890 SMT. So I need to whip those off because I've already had a little look at these muffs. I've got one out of the packet, and I tried to sort of mock up over the top. But because these particular handguards are really tall, which is great for protecting your hands, unfortunately, it's kind of not really helpful. So these are the original Honda ones, which I've practically never used, but they are much, much narrower. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap them over, and then we'll have a try of fitting the muffs. Right, let's crack open these muffs, and we'll have a little look and see what's what. So you don't get a lot in the packet in the way of instructions. You just get the 2 muffs, left and right, and some kind of extra sort of strap thing, and what looks to be like a Velcro, sticky back Velcro thing. So we'll have a look. But as far as instructions go, there you go. You just get pretty much nothing. Here we go. We'll see if we can get these on the bike. I'm going to start with the left hand grip. So now this one's got to be the left one because the opening of the muff is higher on the top than on the bottom. You can sort of see that. Now, I would say the quality of these muffs is very good. The material itself does look very waterproof. It's got a sort of rigidish manufacturing shape, and the opening is actually, you know, quite sort of not solid, but rigid. That's the word I'm looking for. So I've swapped the handguards back to the Honda ones. Now, I'm pretty sure should just be the case of slipping these straight over the top. So whoo, the bit that I'm concerned about is being able to use the controls whilst these are fitted. Let's get that on. Let's see, I'll tell you what, let me grab you so you can see what I'm seeing. So yeah, here you go, they're just sort of going over the top of the controls as much as possible. So there we go. So my thinking was that those Honda handguards, where is one? It's on the back of the bike there. They are roughly the same sort of size and shape as the Oxford muff. So that's what I was hoping was going to help make it all be the right, how do we say it, the right sort of shape and location. Right, as with all this stuff, it's very difficult to try and film this, especially one-handed, etc. Now I might come a cropper here because I've got this camera mount. I want to try and hold on to that if I can. So here we go. Let's get you back under here so you can see. So here's one of those sort of straps that you find on the back of a backpack. And what we'll do is we'll just thread that through there and tighten it up. And then these poppers are going to go onto there, look. So let's just try and get that in there. Right, so this strap then will go, which way will it go? Good question. So I try to make these films as much as possible like in real time. I do have to edit chunks out sometimes, but ultimately what I'm trying to show you is how long would it take you to fit something and how easy or difficult would it be. So as with most of these things, that was a little bit fiddly. Have I done it right? I don't know, there's no instructions. That's about as tight as I can get it. And then this little popper part, it's going to have to go up inside. And then I guess on the number 3 position, can I get it on there? Right, well, there we go. And realistically, that's it. That's basically on there. But can I reach the controls? And is this top part of the muff going to be fouling the controls? And I think the best way to show you is literally put you inside the muff. So if you haven't been inside the muff for a while, now's your chance. Ooh. So this is going to be the reality of my personal situation. This little piece that has 3 poppers on it, I'm probably going to be inclined to cut the last 2 off. You see that up there? Those are going to get in the way of me using my headlights button. I'm probably not going to be changing gear. That's these little grey buttons. So I'm going to leave that down to the automaticness of the bike. What will I need? I'll need this function for doing bits and pieces. And I'm also going to be needing this bit here for my cruise control. So I think possibly what needs to happen is this actually needs to be loosened off a little bit. So I'll loosen that off there a little bit. Anyway, like so. And it wants to come around this way. And this is what I was thinking. I was thinking that what it'll need is it'll need some kind of a cable tie going here to hold it in this position so that this is round this way and not wanting to constantly travel forward. And that way I will be able to get as much access to those buttons as I need. So I think that, without actually going out on a test, because the weather, I can tell you, you may even be able to hear the rain, but it's really crap today. That's why I'm inside my new filming studio trying to make this video. So there you go, that's one side. Right, I was going to do this off camera, but actually I think it might be worth doing it on camera. So what I'm planning to do is drill my muff. Sorry, I had to. So what I'm planning to do is just literally drill all the way through it, through the handguard, and then attach a little, I think that's an M6, with a washer, like so, through it there. Just two reasons. One, I think it will hold it in a position quite nicely, because it's going to be like moving about quite a bit if I don't do it. I could zip tie it, but so easy to do this, I hope. And then what I'm thinking is, let's move that drill. So once I'm on the bike, in my riding position, I think that the muff wants to be about there. So if I can hold that and put my hand in there, I can get to all of the controls, I think, yeah. Barring maybe the headlight, which I'm not going to need. And then it's also in the right place for my arms. So basically, no time like the present. And I think it needs to go through there. So, sod it. Let's give it a go. So I'm feeling that it goes through there like so. I don't know how this is going to go. Let's find out. So far so good. Right, a little bit of plastic, bit of microplastics for the world. And then what I thought we would do, it's going to look pretty ugly, but just have a big old fat washer on either side. Let's push that through there. And then, to do this by feel, now where's the hole I made? Oh, it's all the way back here. Got a torch I can see. Ah, right, okay. Now we've got some light, maybe. Ah, it just literally fell in the hole. So funny. So, washer and a nut. Now, turn that one off. And that's going to need a little 10mm. Let's have a little look at what we've got 10mm wise. 10. And a spanner of 10s. So I'm thinking it wants to twist around a little bit like that. Oh, this is going nice, isn't it? Look at that. I like it a lot. Right, let's get you off the stand. So there you go, that's what it's going to look like. And it means that, this is, see, look at that, how much space I've got for my controls there now. And it's not going to move about. And then it's just a case of tightening up that little strap. Okay, off camera, I'm just fitting this right hand one, and I worked out how you're supposed to do this strap the right way. I've been doing it wrong, so let's see if I can just show you the right way to do it. So you go in underneath, poke that through, and then over the top like so, and now when you pull it, it just does itself up. So there you go, that's it, nice and tight now. And then I suggest probably this bit here, we're either going to cut it off or perhaps tie a knot in it or whatever. Probably I'm just going to cut it off so it's a bit shorter, otherwise these are just going to flap around in the wind and get rather annoying. So I thought I'd just add that in, but also this little label I'm going to want pulling out. I think what I'll do is in a minute I will just come back to you on this right hand one and show you how it is going to end up in regards to being able to get to the controls, because at the moment I think we're going to be good on the controls. So yeah, let me get back to you on that bit. Okay, as promised, the right hand grip is done. So I've done the same thing. I screwed through. It's in a slightly different location to the other one, but it won't matter. And it means that I can reach all of the controls without being, you know, this bit getting in the way. I've pulled this nice and tight. You end up with quite a long bit of strap, which I think I'm just going to cut off, but maybe I could just loop it through there, one-handed, and just tie a little knot in it, for example, onto there. On this side, what I did was I made sure I went underneath. See, there's a little cable from the handbrake. I went underneath that so that it's not going to damage the cable. And we're on the third popper on this side. And on this side, it'll be the same affair and the second popper. And I think what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to actually cut off the third one because it is in the way, you can just see there, of my headlight button. This is this bit here, this little flappy bit inside the muff. So there you go. Let's just have one little look from the front. Yeah, they don't even look that bad. So I did something crazy and actually read the instructions. So what it actually says to do, I wonder what these things were, so I was quite intrigued, and also why there was only one strap. So I've been for a little ride, and a little bit of air does come in, but it's such a tiny amount that I could just wear summer gloves probably all year round. But what it tells you to do is to remove your mirror so that this bit can go over the top. And then what it says is to use a sharp knife and to make a hole to put your mirror back in, and this little bit here is meant to go, I'm not sure which way around, probably with the sort of leathery waterproofy side up, over that, so that when you screw that back onto the bike, it makes a little waterproof seal apparently. Not sure exactly how effective that would be in a torrential downpour. What I was thinking was just to use a drill. I'm going to just drill a hole in mine in the correct position, and it might also help me be able to sort of move this around into an even better position than it would have been. So it was well worth me reading the instructions. And this little strap, so this little strap, incidentally, what I have done for the time being is I had so much excess that I tied those up together. And now, if I undo those, like so, and like so, I'll just do that one-handed, probably can. Right, there we go. That means that these little toggles are now able to be threaded on. So let me just pop the camera on the tripod. What it says to do is actually, I found out that this is Velcro. So then what you would do, I'm guessing, is you would pop that through there, and I suppose actually, well, that's going to hold itself now, and then go across to the other side, and then on my bike, you see the bars are so wide actually. Let me just get you. My bars are so wide that I can't even, it's not quite long enough. Look, you see that? Probably could, with a little bit of mucking around, get that to reach, and then they'll pull each other in. But because I have mounted mine with a bolt, it means it can't move in any case. So I personally think that my idea of mounting them this way, dare I say it, is far superior to what Oxford suggests. But I think I am going to do the trick with the mirrors, because if you can see on this side, let me just come round, where the fabric here is just, it's pushing up against the mirror. I think that what I can do is this is just literally a hole here where air and rain can get inside, and then this is obviously going to fill up with water. So I think I'm going to do exactly as they suggest and make a little hole, but I'm going to just use a drill. I think that would make a nicer hole, or possibly a soldering iron might be a good trick. Haven't got one at the farm though, or my studio. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. So let me quickly do that, and then I'm going to add that into the video as well. I'm just going to sort of just do that off camera, I think, or maybe just sod it. I'm going to do it on camera. There we go. Just set you, oh hello, set you up over here, and then like so. That'll do. And just get my drill. Now I think I went up the road and these are in a pretty good position, so I don't want to muck about with them too much. But I reckon it wants to be about there. See, I don't know about drilling them now. Maybe the knife is the solution for the top bit. Not a problem. I have a nav. Yeah, I'm going to get on the bike. Hup. Well, at least I've made a mark now where I wanted it. So through there, through there, through there. Maybe this way a little bit. I'll just put a fresh blade on this, so this is about as sharp as it's going to get. Do we need that little circular bit? I just don't know. Now, where's my little hole? There we go. So actually, look, that's going to end up being pretty damn good, isn't it? From a thief's point of view, it would now mean that you're going to have to do a lot of damage to get them off, or you're going to need a bunch of spanners to get them off. It's worth noting that on the right hand side of your motorbike, this mirror, the thread is the opposite way. So there you go. I think that that is also something worth doing. I hope that's not going to be a pain, but what I have noticed straight away is that this is quite a big area where air can get in. I might just to combat that, I might do something really simple. I happen to have some of these little paperclip jobbies, I might just literally just put that on there. There we go. That stopped that little hole, isn't it? Certainly smaller than it was. Yeah, I'm going to add that into the video. I think that's worth doing, a worthwhile thing to do. Not completely convinced that these would do much, to be honest with you. I'm sure in tests they work. And I would say for this particular bike, this little strap is not going to be long enough. So it could be that you use them on your own bikes when the bars are narrower. So there you go. I hope that has helped as well. Montage, montage, montage. There we go, look. Made little holes through there. Same through there. Used a little paper clip just to tighten up that, and then took the levers off of the paper clip afterwards so that it stays in place. Tied that in a little knot, probably just flap that little bit up out of the way, like so. So there you go, there's my little ending to the video. Quite a lot of bits and pieces done just to get those muffs on there. That is not a 2-minute job. I think if you want to get that right and it to be on there for a sort of the whole winter and not flap about and be annoying, take your time, get them set up all right, and there you go. If you like my content, then please do subscribe, because every single subscriber helps my channel out, it helps me grow, and when I grow it means I can make more content, and I can make better content, and then I have some more money, and then I can make more content, and so on and so on and so on. So please do subscribe, smash that bell, watch all my videos. Awesome, see you in the next one.